All right. So hopefully you have had time to work on your personas. And so the first part of the session today, I would like to review the personas that you have. At least review a few, just so everyone can get an idea. Get some reinforcement, confidence that you're doing it right. So whether it's incomplete, if you don't feel it's ready, that's okay. This is part of the classroom. We're just going to review and work through it. So, who would like to share their persona first? All right. Yes. Dana, yes. Wonderful.
So let me share my screen.
Great. I can see
Yeah.
it.
All right. So my target persona is Latifa. She's 20 years old. She's a university student in Al Ain. What are her needs? So basically, Latifa, she loves sewing in her free time. So what are her needs? She wants an advanced sewing workshop and advanced sewing machines and tools. She wants to have a time management between the sewing and her studying, and last but not least, a quiet place to sew and then study. What is she frustrated by? That there are no professionals available for sewing classes or workshops, and there are no professional tools, and there is a time conflict between her hobby and her study or university, and the workshops are mixed. So because some of the let's say girls, they prefer to have a female only classes rather than a mixed classes between males and females. So this is one of her frustration of her hobby. And then what are her goals? First is create a personal wardrobe of handmade clothing, and start a small business or online shop of her creations of what she's doing, and then participate in a local sewing either competitions or exhibitions, and then share her sewing tutorials, tips, and tricks on social media. What motivates her? It's creating a unique clothes and gifts that she can share it with her friends and families, and improving the sewing skills and techniques that she's doing. And also, sewing provides, or let's say, it's a stress relief and relaxation to her.
Wonderful. Great work putting this together. Yes. Absolutely. You've got the main elements of the needs, frustrations, goals, and what motivates her. Dana, this is a wonderful persona. Great start to the day. Thank you so much for sharing it. All right. Very good. Very good. What a wonderful start. I'm so happy. All right. Anyone else would like to share what they've been working on? Would like to see that and get some feedback.
Okay, maybe I can go next.
All right, Noon. Yes.
Yes, to be honest, I didn't have the time to prepare it as much as Dana did. She did a great job. I just put everything together because I had a very short time doing it. So I'm just gonna share my screen. 1 second. Okay. You can see my screen now? No?
Not yet.
Now you can see? No?
No.
Okay, 1 second.
Either that or you can share it in the chat and I can bring it up as well.
Okay, 1 second. Still? This is weird. Okay, then I'll share it on the chat. 1 minute. Okay. I'm sorry for the for the waiting. Okay. I think if there's anyone ready, you can go ahead, and I will share it when I will let you know when I share it on the chat. Okay.
All right. All right. Yeah, go ahead and get that together. Put that in the chat. And anyone else who is ready, let me know. Love to review the personas you have. Who is next? Oh, come on now. I know you want to share them. For those of you that are joining us here, we are reviewing personas. And so if you are working on them, it does not have to be complete, but please go ahead, and I'd love to review them just so you can get some confidence that you know you've got it right, you understand the concept, and we can review those here for the first part of the session. Or I will start calling on people. How's that?
I want to do it. Just give me 1 minute. I need to kick the kids out of the room.
Oh, okay. That is all right.
And I'm ready too, but I'm just a few minutes. I will reach the coffee that I could share my screen.
Very good. Yes, I think there's a few people in their cars right now, so that'll work. All right. Anyone else while we are waiting? Go ahead and jump in, get it done. And looks like we have had more people join
Yes,
us.
I'll try to open the camera.
All right.
Why is it upside down? I don't know. So I'll bring them the picture.
All right.
It is upside down, right?
Aisha, I have to say that is the first time I have seen that, an upside down camera, but that is okay.
You can continue with it. It's fine.
Yes.
Okay, I'll post it in the chat. So this is what I've been working on today.
All right.
Actually, this is represent me, and I want to track my clients by seeing that I like art, handmade, especially stuff. So I can give some courses for the handmade stuff. I give brief introduction about myself and what motivates me to do this. Some of my personality, creative, empathy, and curiosity. This is a very special point in my personality. That's what's make me learning from one. Do you see the image actually?
I do, and I am working on pulling that up here right now.
It's better if we share it. أنا أبعرف ليش الكاميرا تشيل. What shall I do about the camera now?
There we go.
Okay. So by looking at the image, the client or the target, they will understand I'm holding a brush, I'm a local. So I'm sending some messages just by looking at the image and by using some icons for painting. my name, and I'm artist and also educator. So I'm not only doing pieces of art, I also give some courses. And female married from UAE, from the Abaya and Sheila, they can understand that I'm a local. And also hear about me. And I choose to put all the text stuff on one column, then the icons and the images in the other column. So it will be easier for them to choose what to read first, or to look at the personality and the skills. Maybe this is more catchy for them. And then they will be interested more to read about me, the details one on the left side. And this is the favorites brand that I'm using in my handmade stuff, which is known globally.
All right, beautiful, beautiful imagery, beautiful design. You'll have to excuse me. My voice is, for some reason, my voice is not working for me today.
You got shocked from my poster, I know.
The one thing is when we develop personas, this is a wonderful view of you. When we develop a persona, it's more about who we're trying to reach, our audience. And so while you develop this about yourself, it's wonderful, great work. But I want you to think about if you want to focus on art and education, who would you be trying to persuade to utilize you? So would you be targeting parents, parents with children who might want some education, or would you want someone to buy your artwork? And that was, so when we develop a persona, it's more about the person we're trying to persuade. Is that?
Yeah, so the persona should be about my client itself.
Yes.
My target itself.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do another one. It's fine. I understand.
All right. But I have to say, I love how you develop that. It's a wonder. I love seeing the artists. Yasmin and I were just talking about this before we started. I love seeing the graphic designers and those with some artistic, because
actually this lady is not me. I've created her by the artificial intelligence.
Yes, very good. I could tell that. That's great. We can always tell who the designers are because their personas are always very, very perfect, very well done.
Thank you so much.
Very good, Aisha. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Well, Noon, yes. Let me open.
Okay, now I'm very embarrassed to show mine, to be honest.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's because of the designs and everything. I just put the, all the words and yeah.
That is fine. Okay. We all have different talents and different strengths.
Proudly.
So.
Yeah, it's fine. Yes, so my persona, I did a persona for New Media Academy. So as you know, it's an academy for all content creators to learn and to grow in this field. So I named my persona Nada. She's a content creator and social media influencer. Her age is 28 and she lives in Dubai, UAE. And the quote is what she says: I want to create content that not only entertains but also educates and inspires others about rich Arab culture. Okay, so Nada's needs are to access to quality resources and mentorship tailored to Arab content creators, support in balancing her full-time job and her passion for content creation, opportunities to enhance her skills in storytelling and content creation, and to know platforms that can showcase her work and content with wider audience. Her frustrations are facing challenges in finding quality resources and mentorship, as we said first. This is her needs, especially to Arab. So because it's new and now it's it's being wider, and especially on the GCC area, maybe on Egypt, it's known, Lebanon, but in Arab, it's a bit, in the UAE, maybe, and KSA, it's a bit restricted. So now they're starting to show themselves more with, and also she seeks a supportive community for collaboration and constructive feedback. She's motivated by, sorry here, the name is wrong. She's motivated by her passion for storytelling and content creation, the desire to connect with and inspire her audience, and to elevate Arab representation in the digital space. Her goals is to enhance her skills in digital storytelling and content creation, to grow her social media following and build a personal brand, to connect with other Arab content creators and influencers, and to learn the latest trends and tools in digital marketing and social media.
Great, great, love it. And yes, that is you nailed that for the new media target audience. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, great. I can't change anything about this. You know, you've identified clearly who it is that we are targeting and how we can help them. So that is a great understanding there, that once you develop these, then we can start writing marketing content. We can start developing information that answers their question. So fantastic work, Noon. Great. All right. Anyone else? I love it. We have had fantastic work shown already. So we can do a few more before we get into the lesson for today.
I can go ahead.
All right. Thank you.
I will just present my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So my persona is actually about our target audience, which is the youth from 13 to 18. So I called him Saif. He's from Sharjah, as we target the people who are from Sharjah. And about him, he's looking for activities to do in his free time. And he likes being in a social environment, and he enjoys making friends. So he's looking for like a place to develop his skills. And I've put like what he likes and what he doesn't like. He doesn't like being inactive, exams, and not being organized and being bored. And what he likes animation, drawing, gaming, football, coding, and technology. His personality, he likes to be active, creative, challenging, cooperative, and he likes imagining. And he likes his favorite apps, I put TikTok, Procreate, Stop Motion, Instagram, and YouTube. So I think I've put like what I'm thinking, like our target audience. And I think he would be a good fit to visit our centers.
Wonderful. I love the simplicity and the clarity of what you developed here. Very easy to understand, very clear. Wonderful, amazing. I'm so happy. Everyone is doing such a great job with these. That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Huar.
Thank
you. All right. One or two more before we finish up with this review. This is probably one of the fastest reviews we've done because so many of you just are getting it. You've got it. It's fantastic. So I'd like to see one or two more. Even if you just have a question about how to get started or how to continue building that, let's go ahead and cover that here in the next few minutes. Anyone else got time for one or two more reviews?
I'll go next.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I did mention yesterday that I work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I have put one of our main personas. I have created one just earlier today. And mainly since we focus on Emirati travelers during the summer, So we provide advices, emergency numbers, and some of these services. I don't know if anyone knows about it. But so I have put Mansour Ahmed as my persona. So as you can see, there's like a brief explanation about his gender, his income, education, location, and status, marital status. And the main goal of Mansour is to have travel guidance, so practical tips, visa information, safety advisories, which we mostly have to focus on, security, information. If there's any updates, for example, there's a natural disaster coming their way, or if something happened, they can find the information on our website, emergency contact number. These are the main goals for most Emiratis when they travel, like for their safety concerns. Then we have the brand interaction, which focuses on the platforms. What do they use? Which platforms do they have access on? And the support preference that most of our personas need to have, which is 24/7 customer support. The motivation focuses on efficiency and peace of mind. So whenever like a person travels, they need to understand that we have their back for whatever like reason happen, good or bad. And then I have added the persona details, which is basically his age, what he loves, and his interests.
That is amazing. Wonderful. Very, very good. Very detailed. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. That is great. There's not a whole lot of feedback today. My goodness, all of you have like nailed this. This is great. All right, one more. One more.
I could go.
All right. I've been waiting.
Finally,
Yes,
reached the
Abraham,
place,
yes.
but it's still in preparation. Okay,
All right.
I'll tell you my story. Yeah, because I like prepared one. It was done by like a couple of hours ago. Then finally disappeared. I forgot to save it. So now I have made one like quick. I will share my screen. Okay. So I'm just in the editing level. My persona is Khalid. First of all, we are focusing. Our target is to focus the media to Al City, which is in Abu Dhabi. Okay, we joined this workshop. We have the Bawahi Al Ain, a new team which will work in Al City to show up Al Ain in a good way, to like focus in Al Ain and bring it back to the media. So it's still in the preparation, as you can see, and I guess it's better that because most of the personas are done. So you could help me now, Mr. Mac, in this one. His name is Khalid. His age is 25. This is an average. Okay, he's from a lane. Our target is a lane community. His quote is making a difference in the community brings true fulfillment. Okay, that to show up the Alain community, to like engage them together, to link them with the government, with Alain society, and provide for them the peaceful and the safest place to live in. Their needs, opportunities for community involvement, balance between work and life and personal life, a convenient access to public services, and strong family and social connections. Something that they might persuaded by. Let me just make it bigger. Sorry for the. I was lucky because I saved all the notes in the notes. So okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So maybe the poor communication channels, limited recreational resources, technological efficiencies, and the bureaucratic delays, like the delays in the sum of the services with the government, municipality, distribution companies, power generation, and etc. The goal is career advancement, active community contribution, support for families' needs, maintain work-life balance, and achieve recognition and fulfillment. The motivated is like improving the community and family well-being, building social connections, and etc. That's it for now. I will just continue editing. And sorry for this case.
No, that is all right. Things happen, and no, you're putting that together, and you've got the basic structure already. So fantastic. Yeah, you've got the areas covered. You know what they're looking for, and you know the very specific things that could enable you to have a better conversation once you understand these areas. So fantastic work, Ibrahim. Amazing.
Thank you.
For a last minute putting it together, that is great.
Thanks.
All right. So I would like to ask, and just a reminder, please, to turn on your cameras if you can. That way we can all see who's here. And also, I'll tell you, as an instructor, it does help to see your faces and how you are interacting and taking in the content. And also, just while I'm teaching, just so you know, you do not have to worry about interrupting me. If you have a question, you can put your hand up, interrupt. I would much rather answer your question when you have it, and that's why we're here, is to go through questions and make sure everyone understands where we're at. So please do not worry. You're not going to throw me off if you interrupt. Yes, Nahan, I can see the hand there, and I think yes.
Yes, sorry for interrupting. I'm unable to open my camera due to traveling. That's why.
All right. Nope,
But as soon as I return to the hotel room, I will be with you.
Understandable.
Thank you.
That is fine. All right. Okay. Now I want to ask everyone here, did anyone use AI or ChatGPT to create your persona? Did you know that you can?
I did.
You did, Noon?
I did also. Yes, I did.
Yes. All right. So for those of you, let's open this up here and let's create a persona, because I will say this is a lot of fun. And let me resize the screen here just to make sure we've got it here. All right, let's create a persona. So give me an idea about an audience or a certain group of people that we could target here. And we can ask ChatGPT to create an audience. Any ideas? What would you like to put together?
So do we have to select the audience now? Target?
Well, this is more of let's find something, let's put it together. Let's create an example here. So like I'll give you an example of a couple ways that I'm doing it. So let me see, let's say I did this for a company. It was a lot of fun for oh, it wants me to capitalize. British expat living in Dubai. Let me see. So really, when you're creating a persona on ChatGPT, you really don't have to go much in depth. Now, it depends on the audience. And one thing I have found, like especially for UAE, whenever you get into in depth into cultural type of personas, it doesn't work as well. Because ChatGPT, as you've seen, it kind of averages everything out. Some things it does really well if it's more general, But once you start getting into specifics, it doesn't really do specific. So I'll show you kind of an idea here. So we get an idea of, and look at this, it just starts creating my persona right away. Is there a rugby club called the Dubai Hurricanes? That's the one thing about using ChatGPT for persona development. Sometimes there are things in there that don't exist. So you have to be sure that if you're going to use this, that it has the right information. So, I put in, a British expat in Dubai. How can, if they are our target audience, how can we find them? What do they typically do? And so we've got lifestyle, things that they do, entertainment, and what the taste of home, and then also entertainment, media, things like that. So then we can just start asking questions. That's one of the things I like about ChatGPT is the better questions you ask, the better data you will get. And so it's like having a conversation, but you do have to know the questions. And so that is a great method of creating a persona and really getting into some areas where you might not have guessed it. Sometimes we're a little too close to thinking we know about our clients or about our audiences. And this is a way to get almost like a third party opinion or evaluation. And we can check this against what we know. But I will say you've got to be on guard for the hallucinations of ChatGPT. That does happen. So we can have a little conversation. What be the best way to reach so we can ask any kinds of questions. So we develop the persona, then we can just ask the best way to reach this person. And it gives you marketing ideas about how to reach them effectively. Not real in-depth stuff. It's a lot of it is if you're reading through it, it's stuff we know, stuff that comes up there. So, but great ideas for what you can do and target an audience. Any questions about using ChatGPT? Anyone curious to use it now to see what else you can come up with? Any questions at all? After seeing this, who wants to go try it for themselves?
No, actually, I'm using a different platform,
Yeah.
Copilot.
Great.
For Microsoft, but when I asked the same question, they didn't give me the same clear answer. No.
Yeah,
On ChatGPT, I can see it. It's very clear.
Yeah. And that, yeah, there's differences between them, but also what's interesting, Aisha, is even if I rephrase the question, it's still the same question, but rephrased, I'll get different answers. So you never really get the same answer twice. But yeah, the Microsoft is a good one to use. You do need to be a little more specific in your questioning with Copilot. GPT, I'm using 4.0, and it's fast, it's beautiful. Yes?
GPT, it's give me exactly like the age, the name, and give me all the descriptions and the details of the persona.
Yep.
But there, no, still, I need to give him more comments, like I give him more instructions. It's not clear for the Copilot.
Yeah, Copilot takes a little
persona.
more. Yeah,
Creating persona.
I've used it a number of times, but I'm not giving up my ChatGPT subscription. All right. Anyone else? Any questions about this? How many of you are ready to go try it out? Yeah. All right. Fantastic. All right. So that was just to show you a little bit about how we can use ChatGPT. And throughout this session, we're going to be using, not just this session, but throughout the entire course. We are going to be talking about some of the AI tools and how you can use them in your marketing. We're going to come back to this a little later in the session as well. So let me go ahead and bring up. There we go. All right. And Noon, just to let you know, this is a persona that I came up with using ChatGPT for a business client for New Media Academy, and how we can develop that from there. I'll send that to you. All right. All right. So yesterday, we covered who are you organizationally, what's your objective, and developing that message. Today, we're going to look at defining more of who our audience is. So we've covered the persona aspect, but there's a number of other things that we can do to learn more about our audience. When we learn more, we can also add that back into the persona. Remember, the persona is a living document. It's something that as we learn more about our audience, we integrate that into the persona, and then we can also research that to make sure that our assumptions are correct. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to look into how to know what people want or need and what is going to motivate them. What will motivate people to take action? And then we'll look at some channels here briefly, but tomorrow, yes, you're going to dive much more into defining the different channels. So let's cover who do they want, what do they want and need when we start talking about our audiences. Now, once I've developed the persona, and in large part, it's based on what we know internally, what I know personally from dealing with customers, with dealing with audience. Usually we build our personas based on our perception and based on what we know. The next step is to create a survey. And for our survey, what we want to do is we want to confirm what we assume about our audience. We want to confirm, are we identifying them correctly? Are these frustrations real that we listed? And one of the things you can do is give them a list and have them rank the frustrations or rank their goals. And that way, we can come up with 5 or 6 goals for our audience, but when they give us the feedback, now we can prioritize them based on the feedback. And so now we have a more accurate picture of our persona because we can develop research and questionnaires to get that feedback. And that helps us create a more accurate persona. It helps us understand what's most important to them. Now, there are 2 types of questions, and many of you, how many of you have filled out surveys, have responded to anything like that? Have you do you do this a lot? Who likes doing surveys? Some no. Yeah. Okay.
Depends on the survey itself. If it's simple and easy, I'll do it. If it's very long and too much text, no, I'll not do it.
That is a great observation, Aisha. Absolutely. There have been times where I got an invitation to do a survey and then it says it will take 10 minutes to do it. Nope, not going to do that. Like you said, if there's too much text and too much there, we're not going to do it. So when we develop our surveys, we need to respect our audience, respect their time, respect their space. And so what we want to do are develop surveys that are very quick, not time consuming, and allows us to get the response that we need. So there are 2 types of questions. The first type is called the quantitative. Quantitative is where you ask the question, but you also provide a list of answers that people choose. All right, and you familiar with that type of question? So that's where they'll ask for a rating. So from rate our service, and that's either based on stars or it's based on a scale of 1 to 10. So you know those types of questions, right? Or a questionnaire, and they give you the answers and you have to choose which answer. So a great way to remember quantitative is that it's all about numbers. It's all about they give you the answers, you choose the answer, and then it shows the results, all based on the numbers of how people answered. The next type of question is called a qualitative question. And this is where they ask you what you think. And you type in information. Qualitative is all about your words, your explanation, your ideas. That is a qualitative question because what we're learning is qualitative. What I want is emotion. I want to know if you didn't like something, why didn't you like it? So qualitative is all about you telling me why. All right. Now I'll show you some examples here. Yes, Sarah.
I have a question. When we say qualitative, qualitative type of surveys, can it include focus groups
Yes.
or it
So
doesn't?
yeah, focus groups. So you can do these types of questions in a focus group to learn what people think. Focus groups are good ways to learn. However, I've also found focus groups are sometimes they can be led astray.
Yeah,
They're a
I
great
agree.
they're a great study in human behavior because if you get a group of people, usually there's someone who's very outspoken and very charismatic. And then there are people that they don't like to talk, they're more introverts. But someone can lead a focus group and people will say things that they don't really believe. But I like getting individual information. Focus groups are good if they are led very well. Otherwise, they can get a little sketchy when uh, it's human nature. if
Yeah.
you've ever been with a group of people and they start saying what they want to do, you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to cause a problem. And so people don't raise many objections in focus groups. If you're
Thank you for the
interested,
answer.
oh, absolutely. Thank you. Great question. And also, Sarah, at this point is when I recommend a book called Everybody Lies. It was done by a
I'll put it on
researcher.
my list.
It was done by a researcher at Google who noticed that surveys didn't line up with search behavior. And people say they do things, but when the search behavior and when the search it went and what they do, it didn't line up. So they're lying. And he did more and more research, and he found out that people lie on surveys, they lie in polls, they lie to people. He says we lie to everybody except to Google. Google's the only place we tell the truth. So I'll tell you that where he got inspired to write the book is after the U.S. election with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, because all the surveys, all the interviews, everyone said they were voting for Hillary, and Donald Trump ended up winning. And what he learned is that people were saying they were going to vote for Hillary because they didn't want to admit that they were voting for Trump. And so that's the basis of how he got the idea for the book. So little story there. Yes, Ibrahim.
Yes, I just wanted to share something regarding the surveys. In the past, during our university career or exhibition or events, we did like we come up with something that to take the survey by the human, like say, not to take the feedback from them. Like there are two exits. If you're happy, exit from here, from the right one. If you're sad, exit from the left one. So then we counted the numbers.
Ah,
So yeah, I guess we could in the future come up with something more intelligent, more
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah. And well, and I'll never forget, I went over to Expo City, and I went through, I believe which pavilion, I can't remember which one it was. And they gave me a survey before I left. And it was a very extensive, well done survey. And actually, Greg was with me. We were both sitting there filling out the survey, and we were evaluating the survey while we were filling it out. Uh, but it was a great, great example of getting people's perceptions after they had been through the pavilion. Yeah, I like that, Ibrahim, just kind of channeling people based on what, but then, so that would be a quantitative because you're adding the numbers. The qualitative would be finding out what made you happy, what made you sad. That's the difference there. So as you can see here, great example, Ibrahim, thank you. All right, so as you can see here, here are examples with quantitative. Now, some of you probably, this does not look strange. You've seen these types of questions before because we're giving you the answer and you have to choose which of the answers. So when you have your persona, what you can do is take your goals and frustrations and ask people to rank them. What is your number one goal? What is your number one frustration? And that way you can learn a little more of the priority. You can learn also what are their perceptions of working with the organization. Yes, Dana.
So I have a question. What's the difference between a survey and a questionnaire?
You know what? Those words tend to get used interchangeably. So it can, yeah, a questionnaire is just a list of questions. A survey can be the same thing. They're used interchangeably.
Because you listed survey, questionnaire, and then ratings. Ratings, which is like restaurant ratings, hotels ratings. And then like what's the difference between questionnaire and survey?
I can say I'm doing a survey with the questionnaire. So a survey is when I am learning about a group of people. The questionnaire is what I use for the survey.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
All right. Or as Greg likes to say, clear as mud. Is it?
It's clear, yes.
All right. Here's the advantage to quantitative questions. Because if you receive this in the email, you would know, okay, 4 questions, I have to choose. You can do this in less than a minute, probably. And so if you receive this in an email, you'd be more likely to complete it because it's short, it's very specific, and all you have to do is click. That works out well. And that makes quantitative surveys easier to do and also easier to report. You see, because you have a quantitative survey, it very quickly will create a chart or graph because all you're going to show is what people chose. So an example of that is a coffee company based in Dubai. They did a survey of the types of coffee people like, what do they want, what are they looking for at a coffee shop. And so a quantitative survey produces reports like this very quickly. If you're doing it online, if you're using a survey tool, you can have this in real time and learn what people are doing. So that's the advantage of quantitative. It's people answering questions and immediately it's a measurable response. Then there is qualitative. And qualitative is where I want to know what you think. And so I'm going to ask very open-ended questions, such as, if you could change one thing about this, what would it be? I'll tell you right now, in your final assignment, that's a question that we're going to ask you. If you could change one thing about this course, what would it be? And that's what we ask you to present in your final project because it is qualitative feedback. We're learning what you like or don't like and why. That's what we're looking for. You can also ask here, how did this help you accomplish your goal. These are great, great methods. And if you were sending this out, I wouldn't send more than 2 or 3 questions because people have to think about the response. So you can ask them, why did they choose you? How did we help you? What would you miss the most if you couldn't use your favorite product? Or what is one word that best describes your experience? So these are great methods of creating a survey. Now, I'm going to show you something here very quickly because let me do this. Where are we at with that? This is part of your final assignment. We're back in ChatGPT. Guess what we can do? We can say, create a we can ask ChatGPT to create a quick quantitative survey. Now, this looks very simple. This is one where it's just basically looking for demographic or anything like that, what industry, lifestyle, things like that. See how quick and fun this is? I would say ChatGPT has saved me so much time over the past year. And a lot of it is just learning how to use it, learning what works. So that is a great example there that we can very quickly create a quantitative and we'll do a, now the final thoughts here. This is what I love. I didn't even ask for it and it did this. Final thoughts, open-ended questions. What additional services or products would you like to see? What suggestions do you have? Those are qualitative. Open-ended, I want your words. And that's the difference there. And everything else, as you can see, is quantitative because they have to choose. Isn't that awesome? So next, yeah.
Yes.
Sarah just saw your comment. Yes. You know what? It's not going to put you out of a job. It's going to make you better at your job. That's what yeah, but I understand. I understand completely. I was
It
doing
makes
some
the
work.
job easier.
It
I'll be
does.
honest.
Yes.
It
Well,
does.
I'll
Even the
tell you,
research.
I was using ChatGPT yesterday. I just wanted to see what it could do. And it was amazing because 15 years ago, I would spend 3 days doing this research. ChatGPT did it in less than 5 minutes. So, and I'll say it will make smart people better. That's what I will say. Who it's going to damage? I think who ChatGPT, younger people who are learning could use it, but they can't identify the hallucinations. That's where we're going to need experts, people who know and can know immediately when there's a hallucination or incorrect information. Those are the ones who are going to benefit the most from it. But yeah, it's interesting how quickly this stuff is coming up. But it's going to make knowledge workers better and faster. So, but I definitely appreciate the view, Sarah. It gets scary sometimes. Absolutely. All right, let's get back to, there we are. All right. So very quickly, what I would like you to do, and maybe you have some notes or something to draw with, I would like you to draw a picture of you on your perfect holiday. Take about 30 seconds. Doesn't have to be artistically perfect. But you on your perfect holiday, what does it look like? All right. If you have drawn something, you can show your camera, hold it up to the camera. Some of you looks like you're still drawing, still working on it. So let me show you, and maybe this how many of you drew something like that? Most times when I ask people to draw themselves on their perfect holiday, I would say about more than half of everyone draws something like that. That is what is in our brain when we think of our holiday. Now, let me see, noon. Yes, yes, same, yes. The sun, yeah, exactly. Sun and a palm tree. That's what we do. Now, other people, you probably, have something like this. Someone wants to go to Switzerland and do some skiing. You got some mountains. Maybe someone else has a city. You want to go visit somewhere else and see something. So, what have you got? Put it in the chat. What your perfect holiday? What was your perfect holiday? You don't have to upload the picture. Just type in very quickly what it was. Oh, Ibrahim. Oh, the boat. Nice. Very cool. Anyone else? You can either quickly describe or just an idea of what your perfect holiday was all
So
about.
I have zero drawing talents. I tried, but I'm so embarrassed to show you. It's basically eating pepperoni pizza by the sea in Seychelles.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Or I completely agree. No social media. Yes. Maldives. Yes. On the beach. Wonderful. So the purpose, oh, and the forest. Wonderful. Got a couple here. So a travel company asked their customers, oh, beautiful, Aisha. That's great. Asked their
Thank you.
customers to do this activity because they wanted to learn what were people's perceptions of their perfect holiday. And so in doing so, what they learned was, the perception. Where do people want to go? What do they want to do? Very quickly getting some feedback. Well, they learned some things and then they went back and they created a quantitative research. Now, here was the survey that they sent out. They asked, and this is a little different. See, this is still quantitative because it's yes or no. All right. But what they did was they created value-based statements. A value-based statement is this: I prefer to do my own vacation research. Because then the answer is like yes or no. Or I like to talk to a travel agent to know my options. And they find that people typically will go one way or another. I see vacations as a relaxing experience, or I see vacations as an opportunity to see and do things, or how many of us are here? I want to be alone. I don't want anyone to bother me. I want to be away from everything. So these are value-based statements, which express an opinion, and your audience, when they receive this, they choose different options, yes or no, based on how well they agree with that statement. And we can learn a lot of things based on that. Now, one of the things that they learned, and I'm going to ask you here, how many of you set an alarm clock when you're on a holiday? How many of you, when you are on vacation, on holiday, you still
Actually,
set
I set it off.
Okay, good. How many of you, are you on holiday? You get up early. You've got things
I
to
do.
All right, Ibrahim, yes.
If I am traveling with the lazy people. Yeah.
See, now, and this is what we learned. We learned that people that answered this question, and this turned out to be one of the most important questions this travel agency learned about interviewing people, is people that set an alarm clock on vacation, we can upsell you. We can upsell you tours. We can upsell dining events. We can upsell cultural events. We can upsell all kinds of things, because people that set an alarm clock while they're on holiday do more things, go see more things, and they see a vacation as something to conquer. That we are going to get this done. We're going to see everything we can. And so the company learned that if you do this, you typically are spending more money than the average traveler. So it was a great method of creating these statements, finding who agrees with them, and connecting that to some of their data. Yes, Ibrahim.
I just want to add something regarding the alarm clock. My dad taught me that the alarm clock is not a primary thing. That if I forgot to wake up, this will help me to wake up, but I shouldn't depend on him. But I'm doing the opposite totally.
Very good. Very good.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that view. I will remember that. All right. So what happened then? Based on survey data, based on feedback, based on connecting all of this with our internal data, what we did was segmented out our audience. And this is where we have multiple personas. Based on the data, we found that there are 5 types of travelers. And the first type is the recharge. That is, I want an itinerary, I want pre-planned activities, but I still want to stay connected. And I want to and it's for the whole family. So that's the recharge. We're just trying to get away, but we still want to be connected a bit. Then there is the security. And I like that. This is where I am. No surprises. I don't want to have to meet anyone or deal with anything. I just want to be comfortable. That is the security traveler. Then there is the tradition. How many of you grew up like this? We're going to the same place every year, and we're going to do the same thing. And how many of you still do the same thing as no? Okay, good.
This year, I'm trying to convince them to do something else, and may Allah help me with this. Please, Allah, let them convince.
Yes, yes. I know people like this. I know people that go to the same place every year, and they've done it. So, here in the US, we have Disney, all right? Disney World. I know people that go to Disney World, and a Disney World is in Florida. And they go during the summer when it's like 40, and they drag their kids along, and they try to do as much as possible. And by the end of the day, it looked like a bomb went off in front of them, because everyone's just got this stare. They're tired. And then I asked my friends, I'm like, where did you go? We went to Disney. I said, how was it? Oh, it was hot. It was miserable. The kids were upset. They cried every night. And I said, oh no. Well, where are you going next year? We're going back to Disney. It's just, It is I know families that go every year and they've done it for 20 years. I don't understand it. But some of you, yes, we now I grew up, we went to go see my father's family every summer. That was what we did. That was what we did. But now I find myself also, there's also, you tend to rebel and do the exact opposite. And that's, I want to go somewhere new every time. I don't want to go to the same place twice. And then this is a newer category because of the digital ability. It's the self-planner. My daughter lives near LA, and she has an app that gives her the cheapest airfare at any time, and she will just go because she finds a cheap airfare to Barcelona for the weekend. And so she'll just go. And when she gets there, she'll find a place to stay. Drives me crazy. I don't get it. But because of all the apps and the connectivity, they'll just find a way to get there, find out what's going on, and use all of the apps in order to navigate the town. So learning all of this data and learning what people value in terms of opinions, their attitudes, and behaviors, we can segment our audience and learn what is different about each one of these. Now, when it comes to social media marketing, how do you handle this? We've got 5 distinct groups of people. And so we have to realize that in our messaging, we have to appeal to each of these groups. And some of them are going to be opposite. But we still need to realize that we have these people here and they're going to respond to different messages, but we can also figure out what might be similar that we can use. Now, to find what people need, one of the first places I go is to keyword research. And this is wonderful because keyword research tools tell us what people are searching in Google. I can type in a word or a phrase, and this software here, SE Ranking, which I also can provide a free trial if you are interested. It will show me, here are the similar keywords that people search on. Here are related keywords and low search volume that we could see. So, and it will also show you who's ranking for those words. So this is a great way of learning how people search. What words do they use and how do they phrase their need so that we can find intent? It's a great method of learning from this. As you can see here, it shows you all the variations of the term. And what we learn is how popular the term is. So for example, this term here is searched on average 6,500 times per month in the UAE. And so we can learn where more people are searching than others based on the word. And also it will show you what shows up in the search results, local, social media, and also the people also ask type box that shows up as well. So from these keyword tools, we can learn what people are searching for. They're telling us what they want to know. A great example of this, if I search for fitness in the UAE, and a lot of these tools will do multiple languages, so you can see who is searching for what in different languages. So I showed you some Arabic. Now here is English within the UAE. And we can see when we type in the word fitness, we get gym. We also get brand names. We get products, but also types of exercise, and then specific locations. And also the fitness challenge. And if you look, the Dubai Fitness Challenge, and one thing I really like is the trend. The fitness challenge is early in the year. And so that's when it has the most searches, obviously, and then it tails off the rest of the year. So what this shows you is the demand of the keywords throughout the year. What I find interesting is the gym near me, Fitness First, Warehouse Gym, CrossFit, and the fitness centers, you notice that the trend all kinds of lines up. It's basically September is when everyone starts looking for a gym. So this is what you can learn from looking at keywords, not just how many times people are searching for it, but when they do. And then the key is figuring out why. Why in September? What's going on? What's happening? And so that's a great way of learning some intelligence about your audience. And Greg's going to go into the yes.
Matt,
Yes.
can we take the break now?
Yes. Yes, we will go into the break now. And okay, we'll see you at the end. Think about how you search. And if I can see all your search data, what can I learn about you? All right, we'll see everyone in about 20 minutes here.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can
Hello.
you show? If you're here, open your cameras or raise your hands up. Hello, Hamda. Hi, how are you? Please open your cameras so that we know that you are here, so that we can proceed. Yeah. Thank you, Dana.
Everyone's taking a long break.
Yeah. I wish that all of us open the cameras, please.
Aisha, you are the right way. Yay.
We can proceed, Matt, now. I think we are ready, Matt. We can.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to look at a few more ways to research your audience and learn more about them. One of the last things I brought up here was a website called Answer the Public. And what you'll do is you type something in, and again, you can choose the country, and you can see here what I did was I typed in lost card within the UAE. And what it will do is show me all the questions that people ask about losing a card in the UAE. And as you can see, there's different, there's credit cards, there's null cards, how to report a lost card, vaccine cards were part of that as well. And so what it brings it down is to the types of questions: a why, where, who, what happens if you lose your bank card, all types of questions. So I like this because it really helps to find the questions people are asking about very specific content. And it's a great resource to learn about people. This next one, you are going to hear a lot over the next few sessions. Greg talks about this as well. I know Jawdat brings that, and Nagib as well, is using Google Trends. Google Trends, again, it tracks what people are searching for, but you can break it down by country and even into the region to see what people are searching for. So for example, this is last year. Google is giving us the top 5 searches within different areas. So platforms, sports, news, events. Google tracks all of that, but then also allows you to dig in a little deeper and find out what people are searching for. So I can just even go in and just the last 30 days, what are people searching for? And primarily, it's usually what's happening sports-wise. That's usually what you'll find at the top, but it doesn't mean that's all there is. You just have to dig in and find it. For example, here's how I used Google Trends. Just a fun little project here. I wanted to see, what did people search for lunch? We have biryani, mandi, and shawarma. And so I wanted to see what was the most popular, and biryani was most popular by far. And so as you can see here, what Google is telling you, they're not giving you actual data. What they have here is like a 100 to 0 index. And it just means it's a popularity index. It does not give you how many people are searching for that. So what it's telling me here is just the popularity of these different terms in comparison to each other. But also what Google Trends will do is break it down by sub-region. So for example, for biryani, It's blue, and it is searched on more within the Dubai and Sharjah Emirates. And you can see there, and basically what that means, it's more searches based on population. It's per capita. Because now when we look at shawarma, that's Abu Dhabi. Has more searches than some of the other. So it's based a lot on population, number of searches, things like that. But it really, I look at it as fun information to know once in a while you can find a really key bit of information that's helpful. Now, I can also break this down. So I'm in the UAE, past 7 days, and web search. So this is anything people typed into Google. And what I can see are now timestamps of when people are searching for these different topics. And again, I could see biryani doing very well. And by comparison, how things are going over the past 7 days. But what that helped me understand is, wait a minute, there is specific timing that's happening here. So also what you can do is switch between the web search and YouTube search. And look what happens. I can look and see what people are searching for on YouTube. And here, all of a sudden, we see a big difference. You see, when it was the web, it all looked kind of flat. Biryani shows up once in a while. But on YouTube, look at all the biryani searches on YouTube. What do you think is happening here?
Recipes, maybe.
Exactly. How to make. Yes. Have you noticed, anytime you make a search on how to, you get a lot of videos. And so people are going to YouTube to find videos, recipes, how to make that. And so we can see where the demand is on YouTube of what people want to learn to make. So we find some cool information there, learning how people search and what they do. Now let's move into, why would they act? What are some of the emotions? What are some of the reasons people would decide to work with a company? Oops. Now this gets into understanding needs again. If you remember, yesterday we talked about the hierarchy of needs, and there are functional needs, and there are emotion, or not emotional needs and functional needs. Let me give you an example of that. I took my daughter shopping for shoes, which is fairly dangerous, but she wanted Converse. So I felt confident. I know enough about Converse shoes to help her out. What I wasn't prepared for is going to the Converse store and seeing hundreds of kinds of shoes, hundreds of different colors and designs. When I grew up, Converse only had 3 colors. All right. It was black, white, and blue. That was it. And so now she is choosing shoes. After about 5 minutes, I can't find her. And so I look around the store, and then I see her, and she has shoes piled up on the counter, and she's taking pictures of them. What is she doing? Do any of you engage in this type of behavior?
Yeah, I share with you.
Maybe she's looking for the review.
Looking for the reviews. That's one way people use their phones while shopping. Yes.
Sending to my friends and choose with me.
Yes, this is a generational thing. It's okay, Aisha. I didn't get it either.
I think the prices also.
Well, prices, but what she was doing is what Noon said. She's sending the picture to all of her friends. She's asking her friends, what do they think?
No, this is our step. Like as parents, we look for the prices and the reviews. Sorry.
No, this is the learned behavior that people have learned, and that I can find out what my friends think. So this is the difference. A functional need, she needed shoes. However, there's an emotional need, and this is why we ask other people their opinion. We want validation of our decision. And she's asking for her friends' opinions about what do they think, which ones would be fun, which ones would be good. And so she would make her decision based on the input from her friends. And this is if you're talking about teenagers and even young adults, and some of you may not be admitting it, but you do this as well, because it's getting feedback, because it fits an emotional need. And you're buying based off that feedback that you're getting from your friends, which is highly valuable. And yes, sometimes, Aisha, people will buy based on their friends' feedback rather than the ratings and reviews. So that is why it's a powerful, powerful way of learning what people value. But it also shows us that we may have a need, but the way we fill that need is different based on emotion, based on other factors than just the functional need. This is what we learn when we're looking at needs and how people prioritize them and what they're looking for. We want to understand what is it that drives needs in certain areas of their life. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples here, both a video as well as some of their social media, because what's happening here, and I want you to see in these commercials, there's a story, there's a narrative that goes through. They express the need, but then they're also providing an emotional indicator, an emotional draw about the need. So as we break these down, look for those factors. There's a story, there's a need, and there's an emotional sort of payoff. There's an emotional draw to solve that need. So I'm going to show you a couple commercials. We'll start with this one. Okay, share sound. All right.
Is in your heart. I don't wanna see no sunshine without its fading rhythm. Cause my heart is in your heart.
When you are the heart of your family, get back to good life. Zuleika Hospital, Dubai, Sharjah.
All right, did you catch those factors? There's a little story, there's a need being expressed, and then also emotion. Emotion, safety, security, family. You'll notice that all those factors go into telling a very clear story very quickly. And if you look at Zuleika's other information on their feeds, it really, talking about avoiding dehydration, about health, they are very, 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 I would say, proactive in educating people about health matters, about taking care of themselves, things they can do to stay healthy. Any questions about that or any observations you want to make? No? Got it? All right. Here's the next one. Now, this isn't so much a commercial as it is a short little feature here that IKEA made. And so I love this because it is such a wonderful example of a brand going beyond selling something and taking more of an active role in social issues.
You're a mistake. You're useless. You're not even green. You look rotten. Are you really even alive?
I like you the way you are. Seeing you blossom makes me happy.
You're making a difference in the world.
You are beautiful.
I brought them here to see the plant. I was like, a plant is getting bullied. Like, it's not normal.
I think it's an excellent project. To have something tangible that they can actually physically be a part of is, I think, going to be very powerful.
As the weeks passed, I started noticing that the one that was being bullied started kind of to droop.
While the plant that was being complimented, it was flourishing and beautiful.
It's raised the profile massively of different forms of bullying and the effects that bullying can have on people.
If it affects a plant, it can definitely affect other people.
All right. So how did that affect or influence your perception of IKEA? You're still thinking through it?
Actually, it's amazing work from IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing work from them. And
Good. So they're
maybe the teamwork inside the IKEA itself, showing some of the functionals.
Yeah, yeah. So their corporate
Security.
mission and their mission statement is to make a better life for all the people. Which is interesting because it's not about selling furniture or home goods. It's making a better life. And I think with that video, they showed it's being more than just selling goods. It's making life better for people. They kind of lived that out. Anyone else? Any comment on the video and their marketing?
The video itself, it has lots of emotions.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I like the supers and the video itself.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
good.
yeah, it's emotional, I think. And I like the music as well. So yeah, it's nice.
Very good. Yeah. So and you could tell there's a nice story throughout. There's a lot of emotional pull, but it also teaches us something. And again, the need, safety, security, acceptance, those are all things that, maybe sometimes, we think back to our childhood and maybe, we were on one side or the other of some bullying and wish we could change that. And so that touches that emotion there that I think a lot of people have gone through or experienced. And so it makes it very real for anyone who has ever experienced anything like that to see someone taking action against it.
And I think also it's smart that they did it on schools because like the children, as you said, the bullying starts in school. So this experiment in school, it will give them like the motivation not to bully anyone else and to like put in consideration any words that they use. So I think it's smart.
Yes, it's very good. I like that they started with that age group and teaching them empathy early. Very good. All right. Now, this is a commercial. Believe it or not, Google actually did some television commercials. Some years ago, Google was a bit more active in developing some commercials. And this one was probably one of the most popular. If you've never seen it before, pay attention, it goes fast.
Hello. Bonjour.
Alors?
Le commandant et toute son équipe espèrent que vous avez passé un agréable
All right. Talk about story. How amazing was that?
What if we concluded that it's a story? So, starting from going to France and then like how do you, let's say, meet a French girl, and then how do you search for a job there, and then so on. He built a story while searching through Google.
Yeah. I don't know if you realize this, but what Google was doing was demonstrating how to use the search engine. That you could search for travel, you could search for flight information, you could search for maps, translation, all the functions of Google, they demonstrated it, but within a story. And so what an amazing demonstration of a product to put it into, as someone said, it's a love story as told by Google searches, which is an absolutely amazing method. This was a wonderful commercial when they came out with it. Very, very popular. Anyone else, you notice anything about that that message from Google and what they were doing?
Support you with the knowledge.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Well, I mean, it kind of fits with what we did yesterday when we looked at your Google history. When you went and looked at how central is Google in your life. I have to wonder if many of us could tell stories very similarly just by looking at our Google searches. All right. And one of the other companies that I really enjoy, so is the Google was, now that's bringing in emotions of love, family, things like that. Now if we look at more of the higher level needs, self-esteem, growth, achievement, this is interesting because like Emirates Airlines, they don't do a lot of focus on, I noticed they don't do a lot on family, love, and acceptance. They do a lot about achievement, self-esteem, and professional and personal growth. It's very interesting how they choose to position themselves. This is one of my, I love this ad here.
Tomorrow believes the more of our world we see, the richer we become. Fly Emirates. Hello, tomorrow.
So you'll notice it tells a story there, and it uses a principle, what's called 7 degrees of separation, that we are 7 degrees away from knowing everybody in the world. and you'll see it tracks through different characters and back to the original character. And what do you think about that as far as positioning Emirates Airlines and how they develop their marketing? Does it fit their brand? Not sure.
I guess yes.
Does it fit their brand more on that self development, learning more about the? I love how it says the more you learn about the world, you become a better person. And interesting way of selling, and that's the emotional factor that they use, is that more of self development. Do you see that in some of how that works for them, or do you think that maybe that's a little too, is that different, or how does that fit their brand?
It totally fits their brand as they are. I don't know if it's called a travel agency. I'm not sure, but it does fit what they're doing.
Very good, very good. One thing I do love is Emirates. When you look at their marketing, they have fun in their marketing. I really see that. Decorating the plane for Holly, and just images out, when things like that. You can just tell that there is an element of fun in what they do. Now this one is from the US, but it's a little different because this is, again, more focusing on self-improvement. Now there's a joke through this. You have to keep your eyes open and watch very closely.
Oh, I can't do this anymore. Oh, I wish you just quit that job.
But first, some good news in the job market. Unemployment numbers are down, and the job market has never looked better. What's going on with the weather, Karen?
Bye. Oh gosh, my job is so rewarding. I always wanted to be a nurse, so I finally just said to myself, girlfriend, you gotta quit that dead-end hateful job and follow your heart. So I did.
Oh, look, you poor thing. You look about as happy as a cat in a pool party. You need to get out of here. At least you look good. Those flat front Cheetos are great. They go with everything. And the Epsom salt felt so good on my tired feet, which is why I say, do what makes you happy. Do it, Larry. You deserve better than this.
So a little motivation to get out there and go get a job, go get another job. Did they do a great job of communicating helplessness or frustration and escaping from the grind? What did you like about that ad?
I think it's real and it happens. Yes.
Very good. Yes, yes, it is very real. It happens. I love how it was himself talking to himself the whole time.
Yes.
That was just a wonderful way to communicate that inner dialogue we have when we're frustrated.
Exactly, yeah.
Very good. Very good. You'll notice here in their marketing. So these are their social feeds. And so this is from a job search service. It's about job satisfaction. It's about being happy in your work. Here's someone here, the most satisfying part of my job. Believe and you can, and you're halfway there. Congratulating people. So it's about finding that self-satisfaction, that fulfillment in what you do. That is what they focus on in their narratives, in their stories, in the videos, as well as the social elements that they create. All right, this last one is another emotional indicator that only a few companies do, but certain companies in certain industries do it more. And this is fear. All right. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions there are. But the thing about fear is that it is the anti-emotion to everything else, because they can show fear of losing your job, fear of losing friendships, fear of losing family, fear of what if you lost your home. So fear can sell against every emotion. But here's the thing: fear motivates us more than any other emotion. Think about that. Fear of losing something will motivate you to take action. And so that's the interesting thing about fear. It is powerful. And so I got a very light video here rather than something a little heavier. You might enjoy it.
Hello? 2 years is too long to wait. Introducing Jump from T-Mobile. Upgrade when you want, not when you're told.
So this is the fear of being locked into a contract with a broken phone. And hopefully you enjoyed that. That was a nice little shot of fear off that one. But we can use fear in many other ways. In fact, a lot of marketing, what's one industry that uses fear more than others?
What do you mean by fear?
Who uses an emotional pull of fear in their marketing or in how they position themselves? Now, we can call fear, we can also call it uncertainty or anything like that. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Insurance company?
What's that?
Insurance company.
Aisha, you've got it. How do they sell us insurance?
I'm afraid like I will lose my car or for any reason, then I will not have money back. Or there is a life insurance also, health insurance. I will lose my health and there is no health insurance if I didn't sign for one. So I'm losing health insurance.
Great examples. That's who uses fear more than anybody else, because they're selling against that fear that we can alleviate. We can give you peace of mind if you buy this. And so that is one industry that they rely on our fear in order to sell their product. So that is where some areas where we can see how developing a clear message with that emotional aspect to it that helps people remember, it helps people think about your product, but also if you can make them feel something, that is where we can really draw people in. And because it's all about storytelling. When we create content for social media, video, images, whatever, what we're doing is telling a story. It's our brand story. It's the promise we're making, but we're also telling people, here's how you will benefit. Here's the advantage to you here based on working with us. Now, storytelling is the oldest method of communicating information. It goes back thousands of years because this is how our brains are wired to process information. You see, if we just look at facts and data, all right, facts, data, numbers, all right, that is all processed in the short-term part of our brain. This is why many of us have trouble remembering numbers, why we don't remember math exams, because these are all things that are short-term. We don't really keep them in our brain, and they aren't really that memorable. In fact, if you make a presentation to someone and you give them just facts and data, it's not going to move them. It's all very cerebral. However, if you give story, images, descriptions, and things like that. All right. Now that is processed in the long-term part of the brain. This is why we remember stories more than data. And also because it is processed in the long-term part of the brain, it is processed 60,000 times faster. This is why when we read a book, as we're reading the book, we have the images in our brain from the book that we're reading. We see it in our mind. So as we are processing stories, we are creating images in our brain. And in doing so, it makes it more memorable. It creates more emotion. And as a result, it becomes more persuasive and more real to us. And that's why if you are making a presentation to someone, telling a story is 1,000 times more effective than giving data. That's why it's so important. And now here's the elements of telling a story, all right? If you want to persuade, if you want to present, and this is what we do when we're looking at social media and how we're going to use it, all right? Let's look at our brain, because we have our, our right side of the brain, our left side of the brain. As you know, the right, traditionally, the right's a bit more creative. The left is more logical. We also have conscious and subconscious. So those are the primary divisions, within our brain here. And so we'll draw a line breaking those up. Now, the right side of our brain, if you want to get attention, what it's going to take is a headline, question, or a clear statement. All right. That gets the attention of the right conscious part of our brain, because we want to know what's happening. What's this about? What am I seeing? And that's where our brain gets that attention. And then our left side of the brain wants explanation. We want to understand. We want to know the why. So that's when the conscious parts of our brain are working together. Now, this may help because here, when we develop social media posts, when we develop social media marketing and content, it starts with, how do we get someone's attention? What's the statement we're making? What's the question we're asking? And does that lead people to ask for an explanation? Are we building curiosity? So those are the first two elements in the conscious part of our brain. But in the subconscious part of our brain, we do a couple different things. First of all, we want validation. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is we want facts. We want data. We want, you can add quotes, ratings and reviews. And so we're bringing in now something to validate our statement. But then also we want illustration. And that's where a story, a video, image, a joke maybe, or even when we make a metaphor, anything that is image-based, anything that tells a story helps to illustrate what you are talking about. And when you are working through all these three things here, all these things here, now all of a sudden you are lighting up the middle part of the brain, and that's where empathy sits. That's where we drive emotion. So if you want to create memorable content on social media, it starts with that statement. How do you explain it? Do you have, and one thing about validation here, it's all third party. Do you have facts, data, a quote, something that validates what you're posting? And how are you illustrating it? And if you'll think through, a lot of the content that you remember has a lot of these elements where it grabs your attention, tells a quick story, validates what their conclusion is, and it makes it more memorable. Your brain processes everything. If you listen to any of the TED Talks, typically when a speaker gets up and starts, they can do a couple of different things here. Sometimes they'll start with a story. And then with the story, then they'll go into a statement. They'll back the statement up with quotes or with facts, and then explain what they mean. Or they'll start with a question to get your attention. And starting with a question, maybe they go to data. And so you can use all these interchangeably. But they're a method of telling stories, a method of communicating to all areas of our brain that help us pay attention, to learn more, to focus on what's being said. So I've included this in the slides so that you don't have to read my scribbles. But what we're doing is we can take all of that information, and when we go then and create some social media content, this is what's called the PhD. How do we get people's attention? The picture, remember? So that's the illustration, the headline, which is your statement, and the description, which is your explanation. And so if you think about social media channels, whenever you upload something, you have a picture, a headline, and a description. Those are three elements that are required for almost everything that you upload. And so think about those from the standpoint of that storytelling key to unlock the brain and how we can grab people's attention. Now, going through this, there's a couple of different things we can do, but typically when you are communicating information, you're doing it a couple of different ways. You are there to inform, entertain, inspire, educate, and influence. Think about the ways that you or your organization is using social media. What is the obstacle? What are you trying to do? What's your objective? And how are you doing that? I'm going to show you a couple different examples here of each of these factors here from some of our creators.
This video is for employees working in the private sector in Dubai. Did you know that you can qualify to receive gratuity when you leave your job? Gratuity is the end of service benefits that you receive once you leave your job, at least for 1 year. So how do you calculate your gratuity? If you stay in your job less than 5 years, you get 21 days off your basic salary for each year. If it's more than 5 years, you get 30 days of your basic salary for each year of service. The total gratuity cannot exceed 2 years' salary. You can also use this online gratuity calculator on Dubai Development Authority website, dda.gov.ae. Any more questions? Leave them in the comments.
A great example of government using social media. We've got images going on there. I love the images of money because that gets people's attention. All right. If you want to get anyone to pay attention there, that is a great thing. But clearly explaining what's going on, what you need to do, where you can go for more information, and then also inviting people to comment. So a great method of building awareness from a government agency out to the people. Also, there is entertainment. Some of these creators are former SMPP students. You can find many of them online.
صراحة تسلا وايد عيبتني.
لا سيارة فنانة صراحة يعني إذا تاخذ سيارة كهربائية بسحب الدحلوم بس نمبر وعان حبيبي.
خرج خشمنا شاع باش بحال إن شاء الله ما حدش عملت حلا يقسم حلو تبقى خشمنا شنو.
That is Abdo. His channel is all comedy.
Is this true?
What's that?
Is this true? Do you hear us like this?
No, I think I'm to the point now. I can tell a difference of different words and things. I'm learning more and more words as I go. But Abdo makes a lot of, he looks at cultures, many different cultures, and finds a way to laugh about it. And so I really enjoy his channel. We can also do inspiration. And Metha is one of the earliest creators to come through new media with an SMPP course. And she does a lot of building inspirational content.
عادة نربط العلاقات السامة بأنها العلاقات العاطفية، مع أن في الحقيقة مفهوم العلاقات السامة أوسع عن شي بوايد. أي علاقة تستنزف طاقتك وتحس فيها بعدم الأمان والراحة هي علاقة سامة. ويمكن فئة الشباب هم أكثر فئة يعانون من موضوع العلاقات السامة. كلنا متفقين أن العلاقات السامة سيئة لنا، بس بتصدقوني لو قلت لكم أن 60% من الأشخاص عالقين في علاقات سامة وما يقدرون يطلعون منها، إما لأنهم يعتقدون أنها طبيعية، أو هم مو مستوعبين أنهم في علاقات سامة، أو يعرفون أنها علاقات سامة ومقررين أنهم يكملون فيها لأنهم يخافون من الوحدة. فإذا تحس أنك تتعامل مع شخص يستنزف طاقتك وما تعرف شو تسوي، تابع الحلقة كاملة على قناة أكاديمية الإعلام الجديد في يوتيوب. نحن ما بنستنزف طاقتك.
All right, and then I love, this is another channel, Iraqi Nerd, does a lot of science projects and setting things on fire.
بدأ يزداد، زاد تقريبا غرام واحد. حتى تعرفون شلون هذا الصوف يزيد وزنه إذا حرقناه بالكامل. بالبداية خلينا نوزن هذا الصوف المعدني قبل لا نحرقه. نخلي هذا الصحن هنا، نصفر الميزان حتى يطلع عندنا الوزن مالت الصوف وحده فقط، تقريبا 8 غرامات. هسه راح نبدي نحرقه ونشوف وزنه شلون راح يزداد. طبعا كلش جميل لما يحترق، كأنه هيك ألعاب نارية، شكله رائع. راح يبدي يحترق شوية وراح نلاحظ زيادة وزنه على الميزان، وهسه صار 11، يعني زادت 3 غرامات إضافية على وزنه الأصلي. فيا ترى شنو سر هاي الزيادة العجيبة بوزن هذا الصوف المعدني بعد ما حرقناه؟ فإذا عرفتوا الجواب شاركوا ويانا بالتعليقات، وإذا حابين تعرفون أكثر عن شلون المواد تحترق وشنو هي قصة اكتشاف الأكسجين، فتابعوا الحلقة الجديدة من النرد العربي على قناة أكاديمية الإعلام الجديد على يوتيوب.
So many different ways that we can use the content. Last one here is influencing others.
طبيعة البيئة وعوامل من أولها تي. أكشن. الطيور المهاجرة أثناء هجرتها نزلت لهذه المنطقة لوجود موئل رحب في أساسيات الحياة اللي هي الغذاء والماء. وتؤوي الكثير والعديد من الموائل والكائنات النادرة والأنواع المهددة بالانقراض. وهذا الشيء ينعكس سلبا على حياتنا نحن كبشر. لذلك الحفاظ عليها هي مسؤوليتنا نحن كلنا.
So there are many ways that we can build content to understand more and more of how to tell a story that communicates to our audiences about the needs that they have and how our organization can help that. We can reinforce that through many different ways, through informing, entertaining, inspiration, educating, and influencing them. So we covered most of the 7 areas of content development, of understanding of building a strategy. Tomorrow, what you are going to cover with Jawdat is the when and the where, why different channels are more effective than others, and how to choose those channels. So that's what you'll be covering with Jawdat tomorrow. Any questions over anything that we have covered today?
That's clear.
Excuse me, if we go back for the brain and the conscious and that example, is there default steps to go through, or I can choose from 1 to 3, 4 to?
Great question. So yeah, when I'm developing that, let me get back to here. When I am developing that, I will fill it out, but how you approach it can be in a different order. So if I'm creating some content, I can start with any of these and then build on it. So it doesn't have to be the same every time. You don't have to follow the same order. every time. It just helps you build more of a framework that when I put something together, these are the elements I need to include. And so I can reorder them whenever I need. Great question, Aisha. Yes.
Thank you, clear.
Anyone else? Anything else before we finish for the day? All right. Thank you for a great session, everyone. Thank you for sharing your personas earlier. I am so excited because, I mean, this has got to be one of the first cohorts where everyone just nailed the personas right off the, you guys got it. They look great. I'm excited for you and hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions. I will see you again in a couple of weeks for analytics and then to watch you do your presentations. So if you have any questions, I'm on the chat as well. And so I look forward to seeing you all very soon again. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Matt.
Matt. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Matt. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow for Jodah's session, inshallah. Same link and same time.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.